Before we get into the video, I quickly want to talk about his build. It's essentially a gun tank Billy, and you go for a lot of items that benefit close range gameplay. For example, you go backstabber so you can chase your opponents whenever they have their back turned against you. You reduce their bullet resist and you also gain movement speed. Fleetfoot makes it so that whenever you shoot, you don't lose any movement speed, and you can pop it for a temporary movement speed boost. Heroic Aura gives you passive sprint speed, and when you pop it, you get more movement speed and fire rate. Point Blank gives you a lot of weapon damage, and you also reduce the movement speed of your opponents. And then of course you go for some defensive items. I would say the Spirit Resilience is super common because there's a lot of spirit damage in the game, and you just become so tanky on Billy once you purchase this item. You're looking to max out your 3 first because this will benefit your character the most with this build. Whenever you melee your opponent or hit them with your 1 ability, you apply a debuff called Wrecked. Whenever your opponent is wrecked and you pop your 3 ability, you deal more weapon damage and you also gain movement speed. And notice how the bar goes up whenever you're shooting or hitting your opponent, so you can keep blasted going for a long time. Whenever you get 2 points in your 3, it resets the cooldown of your 1 ability. So the standard combo for Billy is going to be you charging in, pressing your 1, pressing your 3 to reset the cooldown, and pressing your 1 again. And with your ultimate ability, you're just looking to collect as many people in your circle as you can, and you're just pulling them in. Remember that the chains disable all movement abilities for your opponents so they can't escape, unless they buy something like an Unstoppable. And once your ultimate ability is maxed out, whenever the chain pulls in, you gain Unstoppable for 2 seconds.
This is how we get it done.
Another key thing with Billy is that you will have a lot of movement speed, which means that you can be sliding a lot. So definitely utilize that movement speed as much as possible because your mag depletes very quickly. And while your 3 is going on, you can deal a lot of damage to your opponents. And by the way, I do private coaching in Deadlock, so make sure to head on over to my Discord for more information, and let's get right into the video. Alright, we're back with another one, and today I'm covering Billy, which is one of my favorite new characters. He becomes an absolute beast in the mid to late game as soon as he gets some items going. Listic is the one who's playing Billy right now, and he's one of the best players in Europe, I would say. I've covered him in the past on my channel, and his VODs are just super nice. Start with his 3 ability, and whenever you melee an enemy hero, you do more weapon damage to them. And remember that your 1 ability applies melee items to the enemies, and it will also apply Wreck, which is the debuff. Just a quick pause there, and we're just right back into the action. Laning into a Mina and a Haze. I do believe that Billy and Drifter are supposed to win this lane on paper. They are much stronger laners than Haze and Mina. The main problem with Mina, to be honest, is that Mina is quite squishy. She has really cool character design. I do like her abilities and all that, but she is very squishy.
I'll run him down.
Goes for the 2. The 2 ability is pretty cool, so you dash forward and you knock up your opponent into the air, and it's comboed with his 1, which is very nice. Once you get 2 points in his 3 ability, it actually resets the cooldown of his 1, so your combo is essentially that you're gonna go in with your 2, you're gonna press your 1, and then you're gonna look to press your 3 in order to reset your 1. He doesn't have 2 points in the 3, but that's something that we will see in the future here. Also, whenever you melee a jungle camp or an enemy hero, it resets your bullet mag. It doesn't work against troopers though, so remember that, keep that in mind. But if you are going to melee an enemy or a jungle camp, then it's just going to reset your ammo. Also works with your 1 ability. Remember, your 1 does everything melee related, so items and also the thing where you do get your ammo back. Staying forward, just pushing in the wave, just trying to create as much pressure on the opponent as possible here. I mean, this lane again, Billy and Drifter are just so much stronger. Goes for melee lifesteal as his first item. It's just gonna help with the sustain in general. Again, Billy is a melee character, so we're definitely gonna look to build around that. Gun melee tank is the build that we're going for. Gonna unlock his 1 ability here, and we can start fighting a bit more in lane. I mean, he's doing a really good job here with Drifter, just controlling the lane. Making sure that the enemy team are staying under their tower. Gonna go for boxes. Remember, boxes spawn at 2 minutes, so try to push in your wave that comes before it, and then you can go for different box routes. I do recommend you to go into a custom game just to see where all boxes are. Not super important in the lower and mid elos, but it's just good for you to be aware of that, and then just make sure that you're back from your box run whenever the wave is crashing again. And by crashing, I mean whenever the wave is meeting in the middle. And look how he's farming the jungle camps here. So he's shooting and weaving melee hits in between just to reset his mag and to have a full mag essentially. Just going straight into wave here. Just, yeah, again, just pressuring the opponents as much as possible. Just continuing to control the wave there. It looks like Drifter is going forward. Are they gonna go for the dive here? He's gonna try to parry the tower. Misses the 2 on the haze, but can we get the Mina? This is the annoying part about Billy's gun. It has a massive spread, so it's really hard to deal focused gun damage. If you're close to your opponent, you can deal a lot of damage. And also remember that heavy meleeing an objective also resets your bullet mag. So don't be surprised if you see Billy players with a lot of objective damage in your games. Just gonna be pushing here as much as possible. Does have 2 points in his 3 abilities, so now the combo is gonna be... Maybe we see it? 1, 3, 1? Yeah. So remember, the 3 resets the cooldown of your 1, so... Very, very good. He's gonna unlock his ultimate here. He's gonna go forward. And with this ultimate ability, you just want to collect as many opponents in the circle before they get pulled in. It's like close to impossible to escape the Billy ult. It's super annoying. It also disables movement abilities. So for example, Mina can teleport away. If there would be an Infernus, he wouldn't be able to flame dash, etc, etc. So I think we go back to base now. Bought Backstabber there. Backstabber is a really nice item. If you manage to shoot your opponents in the back, it reduces their bullet resist as well, and it does give you a bit of movement speed. Goes for bullet vest there, gets a bit of extra bullet damage, some bullet resist. It's just really nice overall on Billy. Going to quickly clear the wave here, and if you're not sure what to do in your game, just look at the state of the waves and that will dictate where you are supposed to go. So Listic went for the tower because the wave was pushing in, and now we're just gonna make sure to push 2 waves. And that's another thing, if you are fixing lanes, just make sure that you at least push 2 waves to establish an automatic push, which means that you have more troopers on your lane than what the enemy team does, so it slowly pushes forward until somebody has to clear the wave. Just make it a simple rule for yourself. So if you're shoving waves, then just make sure that you always shove 2. Players in lower mid elos tend to shove 1 wave and then it just becomes frozen and nothing really happens. Pressuring this walker really well with the drifter. There is a lot of people coming in though. There's 3 on this lane here. Needs to go back. Doing really well on the soul farm. Just fixing waves. Not super much going on. Remember, buffs spawn at 5 minutes and every 5 minutes after that. So that's something that you can keep track of in your lanes as well. Try to keep your waves pushed, and then when the timer hits 5, just make sure to be there. Buffs do make a massive difference, and we're really trying to push every percentage that we can. Gets Enchanter's Emblem, has close quarters as well, so now he's starting to get tanky pretty naturally, but he's also able to deal a lot of damage. Also remember, when your ultimate ability is maxed out, you actually... Oh, there we have the ultimate, so Mina can't escape. Does get parried though. Curious if she does survive. What an unfortunate sequence, but what I wanted to say is when you have your ultimate ability maxed out, whenever the chain pulls in, you have unstoppable for about 2 seconds. He's actually gonna dive this. I respect this so much. This is such a top 10 anime battles, right? Limit testing on the character. The Mina sadly does survive, which sucks, but a lot of pressure. And now we're just gonna head back and clear the wave. Yeah, what I wanted to say is that when your ultimate ability is maxed out, you collect everybody in your chains, and when it pulls in, you have unstoppable for 2 seconds, so it just makes you hyper strong. Drifter is about to come in. This is super good timing. He has his teammate next to him, and they're playing into Abrams and Mina. I don't think the Abrams and the Mina can do super much against us right now. Buy his monster rounds there just to push faster. Curious if he's gonna upgrade that into a cultist or if he's gonna be satisfied with monster rounds. Remember, monster rounds just increases your damage against troopers and NPCs essentially. There's the combo that I talked about. You do your 2 into your 1 and then you reset your 1 with your 3. Super nice. And once you get a couple of points in your 2, it actually increases your weapon damage by 25%, I believe. Yep, on impact it gives you a 25% weapon damage increase for 5 seconds, so it's really nice. And also once you hit it, it halves the cooldown. And whenever you're farming jungle camps, you can either heavy melee them, or if you light melee, you get less bullets, but you can basically have a full mag while farming. And as you can see here, you don't need to be hyperactive on the map all the time. Like, you can just play your waves. You don't need to stress too much about your teammates. And he's about to hit 10k gold here, having a very intense fight against Abrams and Mina. Does have his drifter, nice parry. Very low HP, but we are very tanky, and I think the Mina might underestimate us here. Buffs are spawning. The timer is a bit off, so I apologize for that. I think the Mina is going to die. There we go. Gonna go for the gun buff here, which is gonna be huge for us on Billy. Nice. 15% fire rate and 25% max ammo. Does make a very big difference. And now, since there's not really that many waves to farm, he's just gonna go for the jungle camps. For those of you who don't know, the timing for the final light bulb is when it's on the second to last one. So now, can be a bit confusing, but you definitely want to try to time the final hit on the light bulb because it gives you a lot of buffs that are permanent for the rest of the game. So whenever the light bulb hits the second to last one, that's when you want to charge up a heavy melee attack, and you should be getting it every single time. Goes for Cultist there and Fleetfoot. So with Cultist, you definitely want to try to use it on a tier 3 camp. So whenever there is any aerial character in the game, if there's a Talon, if there's a Vindicta, if a 7 is ulting in the air, you can slam them down with Billy's 1. Might be a bit hard to reach at some points, but just something to keep in mind that it actually does slam your character down. There's the Doorman ult. I hate playing against the Doorman ult. It's one of the worst things right now, and I'm not sure in what way they could change it, to be completely honest. But if the Doorman has some communication and some coordination with his teammates, then it's just really hard to play against, because once you get out, you're just instantly dead. I'm sure most of you are watching this video that have played the game against the Doorman have felt the same frustration as I have. And now we're just back to farming the waves, just generating as much souls as possible. And as you can see, like, you don't need to be fighting all the time. It's all about just generating as much gold as possible, and that's kind of the mindset that you want to be in a lot of your games. Especially if you're new, just try to establish the basics and try to generate as much gold as possible, because if you're not following in the gold, or in the souls rather, if you're not even with the enemy team or above, then the game is just going to be a struggle to play. So again, if you're not sure what to do, just look at the state of the waves and try to push 2 waves. And if you're too scared to push forward, just try to roam into another lane, maybe see if you can help a teammate out, or if you can find a kill somewhere, or maybe do some jungle camps in between. But your main priority will always be waves and objectives, and that's something that you definitely should be focusing on if you're not sure. Of course, the game goes much deeper than this, but just keeping it simple like this is going to help you with your improvement a lot. There's the ult to Mina, so she can't use her too. Gets yanked in by the chain, and she dies to the Great Talon Bird. It's so nice that Billy's 1 ability just applies everything melee, so you just get a full mag reset if you hit your 1, which is really nice. Knocks off the 7 there, hits him with the light melee, and he's just dead. And notice how tanky Billy is. Like, throughout this entire sequence, he's not taking that much damage. And the Lustig has established a significant soul lead here. I mean, he's 17k against the enemy team. He's been playing this so well, and it's textbook Deadlock at this point. He hasn't overcomplicated the game in any way. He knows his limits on Billy. Lustig's been playing quite a bit of Billy, to be honest, and he knows how to play this character at this point. With the previous knowledge too, it definitely helps as well. He's known for his Abrams, actually, so that's his signature character. And I think that being good at Abrams definitely helps with playing Billy. Notice while he's escaping, by the way, whenever you mantle onto something, you want to hold crouch because it gives you a little speed boost forward. So that's something that a lot of players have been utilizing. Just keep that in mind. So whenever you climb up something, just hold crouch, and it's going to help with your movement a little bit. Probably going to go back to base to shop here. He's sitting on 6k. Let's see what item he gets next. He gets Heroic Aura there for the fire rate and the movement speed, and he also gets weighted shots there for more weapon damage. I believe it's 30% weapon damage. He gets less bullet velocity, but it doesn't really matter that much because we want to play close to our opponents. We're not playing the long range game here. So weighted shots is actually quite good on Billy. That weapon damage boost is very, very nice as well. It's gonna go for the buff. It just spawned. It's the spirit buff, and all buffs are essentially good. I mean, you get spirit power there, and also 15% ability cooldown reduction. So that's definitely gonna help our kit. Also has Fleetfoot, which is, again, I think I mentioned it in all my videos, but it's one of my favorite items in the game. I just love shooting without losing any movement speed, and having items such as Heroic Aura, using your 3 ability and just getting a lot of movement speed is just super nice. Mina cannot escape here. just destroying the enemy team and picking up the urn here. It's gonna be on their side. Let's see if we can get a delivery going. And at this point, it's just Listic's game. He can just take it over. I would say with Billy, the key thing is just understanding your limits. You aren't that strong in lane to begin with, but as soon as you get a couple of items going, you get some points in your abilities, you just become this insane gun tank with a lot of damage and a lot of sustain. You're super annoying. You're bouncing people around. You're knocking them up with your 2. You're stunning them with your 1. And your ultimate is just so annoying to play against because, again, it just disables movement abilities, so people can't really get away from you. And then combine that with items such as Backstabber, where if they are running away from you, you lower their bullet resistance and you do increase your own movement speed. It's hard to get away from a Billy. You know, you can kite him, but once again, if you get some items going, it just makes your life so much easier. Going to be escaping here using the bounce pad, and definitely learn the location of bounce pads because it's going to help a lot with rotations on the map. They're one of the best tools with just speeding up your jungle clears or just rotating between lanes if you're ganking. Just knowing where they are is going to help you a lot if you're getting chased and you need to escape quickly, etc. Going to go to the shop here. Let's see what we get. Get spirit resilience, and at this point, once you get spirit resilience going, because there is a lot of spirit damage in the game, you become very, very tanky. Upgrades the close quarters there to point blank as well. Again, Billy is a close range character, so that damage increase there is just gonna help out a lot. Point blank also decreases the enemy's movement speed by 25%, so it's gonna help us stick to our targets. Haze hits the sleep there, so we don't need to worry about it anymore. He could just jump in with his ult here, like there's not much that he can do. Slams down the Mina, make sure that they can't escape, has his teammates with him. I think Mina just dies here, yeah. There's Victor, which is the character that came out at the time of me making this video. Victor has an interesting ultimate ability, by the way. He actually respawns with full HP, which is kind of crazy. We'll be covering him in a future video as soon as I can find a good VOD. Let me know what you think of Victor in the comments down below. By the time of this video coming out, he will be out for about a day, so I would love to know what your opinions on the character are. I definitely need to play more Billy. I really enjoy this character, but it's also hard to get the new characters in the lobbies, so if you have any tips, feel free to share them down below. What I've been doing personally is that I'm queuing a new character on the highest priority, and then I'm just looking up the highest pick rate champions that are not new, and then I'm just queuing them. So right now I'm doing Billy or any of the new characters, and I'm doing Haze Rate and Infernus because they tend to be quite popular. You can do Haze Rate 7 or anything like that. The only thing that sucks is if you get a character that you generally do not play, but if you really want to play a new character, those are your best chances if you are solo queuing. But yeah, if you have any tips on how to secure a new character whenever you queue into a match, just feel free to share in the comments down below so we can all try out these new characters. Now we're just going to be playing the wave here, having a 30k gold lead, and now we're just trying to close the game as soon as possible. Just pushing waves, and as you can see on the right side of the minimap, the wave is pushing in, and now we can be joining our team and we can just try to secure the final walker. If we do win this fight here, if we secure a couple of kills, then we can also get the mid boss, and that will just be a surefire way of us ending the game. Pulse Fleetfoot has that movement speed going. He's gonna try to chase a 7. Hits the 1, resets. Has another one, can use the ultimate here. It's just gonna pull in the 7, and that's gonna be an easy kill. Looks a bit wonky on the replay there, but you do get the point. Mina's going to die, and I do believe that we actually don't have a wave here, so this might be a bit hard. It looks like Great Talon is going to go to push up the wave, but we're getting the final walker here, which will give us a flex slot, and I'm curious if they're going to go for the mid boss or if they're just going to go for the base guardian. And remember, whenever you get the base guardians, which is the 3 down here, you get a fast speed boost on the zipline, so getting multiple base guardians on your way out, let's say you push into the enemy base, right? On your way out, getting multiple base guardians can be a good play if you're able to get them. And we're just gonna get the mid boss here, which is just super nice. One common pattern that I noticed in the lobbies that I've been playing is whenever the enemy team gets the mid boss, my teammates just tend to fight into it, which is kind of stupid, because if you do fight into it, your opponents die and then they respawn with full HP, and then you just end up dying and they just end up winning the game, which is kind of annoying. You want to try to stall stall it out as much as possible, maybe playing high ground in your base. I know it's hard to play against, but you just really want to try to stall it out. You need to be patient in one way or another. A common trend is whenever the enemy team just get the mid boss buff, people just fight into it for some reason, and it is quite annoying. But my advice again with that is just try to focus on yourself and just see what you can do to improve. Some games you just lose. The matchmaking is not optimal right now. Feel free to share some matchmaking experiences down below in the comments. I would be happy to hear. Maybe it would make me feel better about my own games, you know. But now we're just securing some Sinner sacrifices in the enemy base, and these vaults is something that you definitely want to try to secure as much as possible in the game, because again, it gives you permanent stats. You can see whenever he hits the second to last light bulb there, if you look on the... Oh, actually misses it. What the hell? Maybe I was reading Twitch chat or something, I'm not sure. But you see on the screen there, he gets 4 permanent stat every time you break one. So adds up throughout the game, and it just makes you very, very strong. Has Fortitude now as well, which will give him more movement speed. And look how much HP Elistic has right now. He has 4,332. And Fortitude heals you for 2% of your max health regen after 14 seconds of not taking any damage. So it just helps with our sustain. It's just incredibly nice. And while our teammates are fighting in base, Elistic is just securing a lot of gold. Maybe he's farming for that final item. Might be a Frenzy. Frenzy on Billy is really good. So whenever you dip below 50% HP, you gain a lot of stats. But to me, it looks like he's also shoving in the wave here. So that's something that he was doing too. Like he was just jungling and doing other things during the downtime whenever the wave was pushing. And now he got the wave over here, gets the base guardians again, gets you that fast zip boost. And now we're just gonna enter the base. We have the rejuve, and I think that we're gonna look to close out the game here. Dealing a lot of damage to the objective as well. I don't think we can reach that 7 there, but it doesn't really matter. He's just so tanky. 7 cancels his ult. I think Elistic might pop the chains here just to secure the kill. Never mind, just gets it without. He's gonna yank in the haze, and he gets the Abrams as well. Looks like the patron is gonna drop, and I do believe that that's going to be game. This was a super clean Billy VOD, to be honest. Just very, very textbook Deadlock, and I hope that all of you learned something from this one. Let's see the final sequence here, just shooting the patron as much as possible. And let's take a look at the post-game screen. And here's the post-game screen for this one. He goes deathless on Billy. And looking at his Kelvin went huge as well. Anyways, let me know what you thought of the video down in the comments down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.